Somebody's got to do it. Somebody has got to do it. And tonight I am right here, GMAP Broadcast Network. We can see him. He cannot see us, but he is here. GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Yours truly, Pastor Kevin. Always, always, always feeling good. And of course, the music is sounding blessed. Mr. Gibson is here, man. Good evening, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, sir?
Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna have to. I'm going back. I'm retracting. I'm rewinding the tape and press and play. You have to give me a whole lot of excitement, man. You got to come better than that, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh
It's
man,
been a beautiful evening.
man, you know what? I always respond the same way. If you have to ask, I must be slipping. I tell you, man, I got to be slipping, man. Do me a favor, man, if you don't mind, man. Our viewers and listeners around the world are tuning in and excited about my guest tonight, man. Introduce yourself, man. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from. Who is Mr. Rheon Gibson?
Yes, I'm Rheon Gibson. I'm the creator and owner of the Diz Wiz series, and I'm from DeKalb, Illinois.
DeKalb. You know,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna tell on myself a little bit. I wasn't always saved, and I used to visit. What is it? Northwestern.
Northern Illinois
Northern.
University,
Northern.
NIU. Yeah.
I gotta say this softly, man. My wife is in the other room, but I used to have a little girl. I used to have a little girlfriend up there, man, back in the day, and you know that trip to Northern Illinois, man, was just to me it was right around the corner. I tell you, man, but it was fun, man. I am so very excited, man, to have you here. For those that don't know, now you know. Mr. Rheon Gibson is one of our featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network in our children's authors area. All you have to do is simply stop by and click on the tab that is titled Children's Featured Authors. It will take you to the page, and you will see a copy of the publications that I'll be showing you shortly on our television screen. You can click on any one of those covers. It will take you to the necessary location to find out more intimate information and details about the author as well as the publications. Tell us a little bit about the Diz Wiz series, if you don't mind.
Oh, yes, sir. It is a social emotional learning children's book series. It's based on a father and son character, me and my son personally. The very first book was based on a real life experience. And after publishing that book and getting the outstanding feedback from everybody that read it, and with the moral the moral of the story really resonating with a lot of the readers, it really just influenced me to do a whole series. And with me having a school counselor background and the series being based on social emotional learning, I decided to marry those two ideas together and just do a whole social emotional series with a different moral in each story. So by the time you get to the end, 8th publication, you'll be able to, if you're a school counselor or anyone in the student support services, you'll be able to take my whole volume, all 8 publications, and you'll be able to run some groups. You'll be able to do some groups and things like that. Typically, groups run 6 to 8 weeks when you're a school counselor. So, I kind of thought of that idea and married the two.
Man, you know what? That is an outstanding idea. Let me tell you that. And I'm
Thank you.
more than sure that it's going to be a blessing to many, many schools and children around the world. I'm just excited that, number one, you accepted the invitation to be here with us today. Number two, I'm excited because you accepted the invitation to be a part of the Broadcast Network family here at GMAP Broadcast Network, soon to be GMAP TV. And of course, I'm also just as excited to, for you allowing us to be a part of this outstanding journey. Now, of course, we are excited to know that there's so much that you have on the plate involved and yet to come. Right now on our television screen, we're showing 3 publications ending with a Diz Wiz officer. And of course, we want you to tell us a little bit about each publication, if you don't mind, as it grows and grows. We have all 3 showing on the screen now, and just kind of break them down a little bit for us.
All right, we'll do. I'm a faith-based person. I really strongly believe that, if God is not involved in it, it's not going to be successful. Oftentimes you're going to have to see something and truly have faith in it and believe it before it comes to fruition. So that first book that you're looking at, Diz Wiz, Speaking It Into Existence, it's all about believing it before it happens, positive self-talk, and telling yourself the right things. Oftentimes in life, we're our own biggest critic. We know our own flaws, and we tend to have a tendency to just feel as if everyone else knows those flaws. So sometimes if we fail at something, we think that we're not successful, and then we internalize negative points of view. So that first book, Diz Wiz, Speaking Into Existence, is how to reverse that type of mindset. We want to speak things into existence. You want to be positive. You want to have faith. You want to talk to yourself like you talk to someone else, and you're trying to build them up. So you want to build yourself up. So that's what that first publication is about, speaking into existence. That second one, Diz Wiz, Hungry Charlie, I got that concept from a social justice aspect, as well as just a community building aspect as well, because I was looking, actually just reflecting on all the commercials I saw with Feed the Children and things like that. And I always saw African Americans being on the receiving end of help. So in that publication, I decided to reverse those roles and have an African American that's helping out, a member of the majority. And that book, Diz Wiz, Hungry Charlie, that's all about building community. Instead of disconnecting from those who may be different from us, and it may be different in many different aspects. It may be a racial aspect, it may be a socioeconomic status aspect, whatever it may be. Instead of ostracizing and isolating those individuals, that book talks about building those bridges and connecting with those individuals, and how doing so could foster a positive and indelible relationship. Diz Wiz, Officer Tennessee, that's my most recent publication. That's all about breaking down misunderstandings and bridging misunderstandings in the communities. The two catalysts that I utilized for the concepts in that book are police and pit bulls. Oftentimes both of those concepts, as soon as you say those words, some people have a propensity to go to the negative. So this was just kind of highlighting the aspects of bridging those misunderstandings and being able to connect with those individuals as well. Wow. So and then the next publication, which will be coming out next year, that's Diz Wiz and the Crickety Critics. That's going to be talking about how do you handle criticism, what ways to do it, and also not internalizing criticism. How do you take criticism and still be positive? So, I'm not going to get into future publications after that. The reason I gave you the next publication after Diz Wiz, Officer Tennessee, is just because in each book I release, I always give you a snippet or a synopsis of the next book that's coming out. Right. So even if you purchase Diz Wiz, Officer Tennessee, you know about Diz Wiz and the Crickety Critics if you read the back of the book.
Right. Well, I'm so glad you have mentioned that. And of course, speaking of purchase, and we are more than sure that there's going to be a lot of parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and teachers that are paying attention to this and or will receive the rebroadcast. Of course, we want to find out how they will be able to show their love, care, concern, and support for you, and maybe purchase not one but all of the publications that are out yet now and yet to be released. What's the process for them to do so? How can they get these publications, purchase them, and have them a part of their archives and their schools?
Yes, sir. You can go to the DizWizSeries.com. We have our merchandise in our store that's available. And if you do that, you can do several things besides just purchasing the books. You can get the books, but you also can get a signed copy of the books because I'm mailing them off. In addition to that, when you purchase from our website and you purchase the first book, which is Diz Wiz Speaking Into Existence, I give you 3 free think sheets for students and 1 free think sheet for parents. So you're able to get those as well. In addition to that, if you're not only just interested in publications, you can also book me to come into your classroom, speak to your students. You could book me for public speaking. I've visited several classrooms to discuss the authorship and the process of publication and start to finish. What does the interior mock-up look like? Who do I reach out to for illustrations? All those things that students might want to know, especially when they're in their language arts class and they're talking about authors and things like that. So, feel free to utilize that website. But if you also want to look outside of my own website, the DizWizSeries.com, you can also go to Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com. Walmart app has all my books as well. In addition to that, eBay has, which was interesting, eBay has a lot of my books as well. So, you can pretty much find it everywhere.
And of course, we're not going to allow anybody to forget about little old GMAP Broadcast Network down here in
Yes,
the lower left hand corner of everything in small print. But you know what? Small print most of the time is the most important print on the paper. So we don't mind
very true.
embracing and, having that. As a matter of fact, keep us there in small print. Listen, man, I'm just overly excited, man. And I know that there may be some viewers and listeners out there today that may, in fact, want to reach out and touch base with you. I want you to tell me how can they do that? What's the process if someone wanted to reach out and get connected with you on a more individual basis?
You can follow me on Twitter. You can, I have an Instagram, I have Facebook. I can also give you my email address, which is RheonDGibson@gmail.com. And Rheon is spelled Rheon. D as in dog, then Gibson, Gibson @gmail.com. And I do answer all emails, so feel free to send me an email and we could definitely touch base.
Well, let me get this straight. First of all, is it Rheon or Rheon?
It's Rheon.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure because I don't want to be sitting here saying your name wrong, and then you're too close, man. You're in DeKalb, man. I don't want you to send those guys after me, man. I tell
Not
you,
at all.
man. And I know that you know as well as I do,
Mhm.
Rayon, that we are role models to someone, whether we like it or not.
Most definitely.
Someone is always watching and paying attention to our journeys, watching our every step. For someone that may be sitting back, paying attention to your journey right now, saying to themselves, I really, really want to get on track and begin my journey and follow my dreams and do what I've basically been called to do. What words of encouragement would you have to share with an individual like that today?
Man, that is a phenomenal question, sir. And I just want to thank you for asking that because these little tidbits of advice I'm about to give you are things that really just catapulted me to where I'm at today. One of the things I want to tell you guys to have is perseverance. You're going to have faith in yourself. And you're going to have to, like I said, you're going to have to believe in what your dream is way before anybody else will believe it. Oftentimes you're going to get criticized. You're going to get maybe negative feedback that's not in a form of constructional feedback or constructional criticism. And you're going to have to endure all that. And you got to nurture your dream. You got to really take care of your dream. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a very faithful person. Like in my heart, I feel like God put me on this earth to get these messages out. And this is my purpose. And I strongly feel that, and I feel like if God put a dream on your heart, then you got to nurture that and you got to foster that and take care of that. He didn't share that with everybody else. So everybody else is not going to see the things that you see. They're not going to have the relationship with God that you may have. And they may not understand holistically everything that you can accomplish because they don't know you as well as you know you. And if you take care of your dream, you believe in yourself, and you have that perseverance to endure through those hard times, sometimes the people we want to support us are not always the people that support us. And that's okay. That is okay. Because as you expand your horizons and you start working on your craft and you start mastering your craft, you're going to start formulating a circle of support. When I started these series, I mean, I was telling everybody, I'm gonna give you a true story right here. This is a real factual story. The first person I ever told this dream to, I said, hey, I would love to do a children's book. Their exact response to me was, oh, okay. So what we're gonna do for lunch? And if I would have used their response as a rubric to grade my dream, then everything I've accomplished would have never came true. I had to take that comment with a grain of salt and still foster my dream,
Yeah.
still nurture it, still care for it, still believe in myself. And here we are today, sir.
Wow. Well, I'm going to grab your coattail and piggyback on that for all of our viewers and listeners today. I'm a faithful person as well. And I believe in my spirit that your destiny was determined before your delivery. I'm a
Amen.
true believer of that. All you have to do is be willing to endure the process. The
Yes.
process is never easy. You're going to get the naysayers, haters, gossipers. You know, they're going to dog you out, talk about you, disrespect you. But you know what? Their dream is not your dream. Your
Yes, sir.
destiny was determined before your delivery. Look what Jesus endured while walking the face of this earth. If he would have gave up during those times, we wouldn't be here today. So I'm here to
Amen.
tell you that we must embrace the process, and your destiny will always be inevitable. I believe that, and I think it's a known fact that people like Rheon is showing and witnessing to you today that it's just a matter of time. I'm looking forward to some of the things that you have in the future. If one of those individuals that you are a role model to, that you encourage, were to tap you on the shoulder and say, Rheon, we love what you're doing. We appreciate and support where you've been and where you are. But what's next for you? What would your response be to that?
Man, that's a great question. You're asking a lot of great questions today, and I want to thank you for that because, man, these are awesome. I would say what's next is we're going to branch off from just children's books, rather. I want to do books that's also going to be catered to those who are ages 18 and older. I was thinking about doing autobiography, just so you can see, because oftentimes what I find out is people will see someone in a high position or see someone who seemingly is successful, and they would just think that your life was just paved with gold and a silver spoon was in your mouth and you never had to struggle. Because oftentimes people see, in public, they see the spotlight on your successes, but they never see your struggles.
Mm.
They never know that you had to, you know, maybe go to bed at midnight and wake up at 3 o'clock and then grind all day just to get to where you're at. They never see the sacrifices. They don't see the practices or the scrimmages. They just see the playoffs, and they don't really understand, how much work goes into it. So what I was going to say in reference to that, in reference to your question, is that I plan on branching off. So not only can I reach the children with my children's book publications, but I can also reach some of the adults with my older publications and publications geared towards adults as well. And then, of course, I've been doing professional development in regards to social emotional learning, social justice, career counseling, like I said, authorship, plethora of things. So more public engagement, more public speaking. I love to do that. I do love visiting classrooms. I just, so all those things are in the works. And also I've been wanting to turn Diz Wiz into a cartoon series. So that way you not only have the book publications, but now you can see it in a video format as well. So we're trying to get that up and running and put that on the YouTube channel. We want to do some read alouds as well. So
Wow.
that's kind of a accumulation of things that we are having come our way in the future.
And when you make that decision, well, you already have, and when you uh, put it in full process, don't chew for 1 second and think that we're not going to expect you to send those cartoon series to us over here at GMAP so we can air
I got
them on a consistent basis, man. And
you.
not for one. I mean, you have the number. We want you to use it. Pick up the phone, call, text, chat, tweet, whatever you do. Reach out to us, connect with us, and we want you to know something from the bottom of my heart here, Rheon, that the answer will always be yes, and you will never ever have to ask us twice. You stepped up and you stepped out on faith, allowing us to be a part of your journey. And we don't take that lightly because you could have said, no, I'm not interested, and kept on moving. And you would have been just as successful as you're going to be. But I appreciate you allowing us to be a part of this journey, accepted our invitation, not only to be here with us today, but to also be a part of the GMAP family. I have some great, outstanding positive expectations out of me, you, and the rest of us that are included. And I'm
Yes,
looking
sir.
forward to that cartoon series. As a matter of fact, I wish you would do it and do it quick because I want to air that on our broadcast network.
Yes,
For
sir.
those of you that may miss or may have missed any portion of this conversation, We want you to know that we will be placing it on our YouTube channel. We will be shifting it over to Facebook. We will be putting it on our social media platforms, and it's going to also be aired on our weekly Comcast cable program that goes on Comcast, Roku, Fire TV, and that goes into over 1.5 million homes. And we are so honored that individuals like Mr. Gibson is going to be one of those programs and conversations that many people will view, see, and witness around the world. Man, I can't thank you enough. And of course, we are going to be inviting you back because we want to know what the process is. We want to know how you're doing. We want to know what's next. We want to know where you're doing it, why you're doing it, when you're doing it, who you're doing it with, all that good stuff. And so we want you to know, man, that we are here for your convenience, man. You know, you can always, you're right in the cab, you can always come to the studio and, the red carpet is going to be rolled out. You don't have to knock on the door because I'm just going to rip the door off the hinges. And I'm just going to take it
Well,
off. So just come on in and step over the
yes, sir.
threshold, man. And we appreciate you being here today. We're going to be inviting you back. Before I let you go, I just want you to do one more thing for me. From the
Mhm.
heart, I just want you to share with our viewers and listeners exactly what's on your heart today that you would like to share with them before we let you go.
I just want to let everybody know dreams are possible. I know oftentimes we think of dreams and we think them in the context of us sleeping or something I just want to achieve, but I want to let you know right now from my heart. Like God put this dream on my heart. Nobody will ever know until I'm telling you right now that I wrote the first book that I wrote, Diz Wiz Speaking Into Existence. That was written on my iPhones on the Notes app at 3 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't sleep. And I know those are the hours sometimes that God works through you. And from writing it on my iPhone Notes app to now a publication in Amazon, Walmart, eBay, my website, etc., dreams come true. All you got to do is continue to believe in yourself, break down what you want to achieve into tangible goals and objectives, make sure that you're checking on your progress, and you will achieve your dreams. Keep putting in that hard work. One thing I want to share with everybody out there, one other thing rather, is I don't feel like it never accomplished anything. Sometimes we got to ignore that feeling and we got to go hard for our dreams. There's going to be times where you don't feel like working. There's going to be times where you don't feel like getting up early in the morning, but this is your dream you're talking about. And if you don't nurture it, who will?
Right.
So
Wow.
you got to take that serious. And you got to know that dreams can come true. A lot of times people look at me as if I'm on a pedestal or, hey, you're accomplishing all these things. How are you doing this? I'm no different than you.
That's right.
I have the same 24 hours in a day that you have.
Wow.
And what I've learned, from just being around and talking to people who are successful and unsuccessful is that successful people know how to manage their time.
Yeah.
They know
Wow.
how to manage that 24 hours. So they'll wake up extra early to make sure that they have a couple extra hours of the day to accomplish what they need to accomplish to make progressive steps towards their dreams. And in doing so, eventually your dreams come to pass and they
Amen.
come to fruition.
I want to
So you
share.
just got, oh,
I
yes, sir. What
I
were you
want
saying?
I want to share this with you, man, and I appreciate you sharing those words of encouragement from your heart. I believe in my spirit that when you have been called to do something, you don't just accept being called. You begin to be that call.
Yes.
And when you step up and step out on faith, no matter what people think, do, or say, you will accomplish every dream in your heart.
Amen.
Don't accept being called ever again. Accept being that call. And God is going to fight your battles. He's going to weed off your enemies. The naysayers will disappear. The gossipers will be in trouble because one thing that God hates and hates, he only hates one thing in the Bible if anyone pays attention. He hates a gossiper. So be careful about gossiping about something or someone that you don't know. Continue, Mr. Gibson, to be that call, and God has and will continue to bless you. Until next time, I want you to be blessed. I want you to continue to be a blessing, and I look forward to hearing from you again soon. I'll reach out to you and let you know where we go from here. But until then, you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening, okay?
All right. Thank you so much for having me. You guys have a great day as well.
God bless you, man.
God bless you too.